My name's Amy Lawton. I went to Haileybury and I graduated in 2019. I played field hockey, and probably my biggest achievements are going to the Olympics. So I went to the Olympics this year, which was awesome. And I also was awarded AIS Youth Athlete of the Year in 2019. I just love school sport in general. I think for me, playing hockey at school was so fun, and I think that was just like the best part of it. It was always so fun to go to training and play our games because I love my team, and yeah, we were pretty good, so that was probably also a bonus for that. But yeah, I think just like playing with the same group of girls for the whole year, and then different people coming in and out throughout the years of school. But I just love the school sports, like hockey team at Haileybury. It was awesome. My toughest opponent originally when I was in the younger year levels was probably Wesley. They were the toughest team to beat. But then as I got into more senior school, it became Carey over the time. So we were always head to head in those games. And it was usually us or them kind of for the premiership each year. So yeah. Well, I had the same coaching staff the whole way through for hockey at school. So I had Mr. Dames and Miss Brown, and they were great the whole way through, just like made everything so fun and enjoyable for everybody. And were really good in including the younger players who were just learning whether they played outside of school or not. So I think that was really awesome and kind of had the biggest influence on Haileybury school hockey, but also like me as I guess, a player who played quite a lot outside of school. It was awesome to, have that involvement with some of the younger girls, some of the girls coming through just learning hockey. And they also kept it so fun and enjoyable. Like each weekend in and out throughout the week, also at training was just so fun. And I think that's, I guess, the most important thing with school sport. Well, I think for me, school sport was just mostly about enjoying it. And I think that's something that I always think about now when, the high pressure moments, everything's a little bit more important, playing at Olympics, things like that is also really important to remember that you enjoy it and that it's fun. And I think for me, that was something that school sport always reminded me of, like, oh, I love this game and I get to do it every weekend with either my school friends when I was at school or now with the Australian hockey team. So like, I think definitely the enjoyment part was something that was huge for me with school sport and that I still think about now and that I still remember. Yeah, just enjoy it. Like that's why you play it. That's because you love this game. So keep enjoying it and having fun. When I was thinking about this question, I actually wasn't too sure who exactly I'd pick. I think for me, being in a team sport, it's actually more my teammates and the people I'm, with a lot of the time rather than a specific individual person. I mean, throughout school sport, also now in other teams, whether it's a state representative team or an Oz team, I think I learned the most and am inspired the most by the people I play with on the field because they're the ones you work with each day. So I think, yeah, it's just the people I play with and that changes. Obviously, I think I learn a bit from each person I play with, whether it's at school sport or, at the highest level now, watching some of the best players in the world or playing against them or with them kind of thing. So I think for me, it was definitely the people I played with rather than necessarily one individual person, because I think there's so much to learn from each and every person that you have encounters with throughout, whether it's a sporting career or just your life in general. I honestly don't know if it's a superstition, but I think I subconsciously put on my like right leg set of equipment first. I put on my right shoe before my left shoe and my right shin guard before my left shin guard. But I just don't know if I do that on purpose or it's just accidental every single time. So I guess maybe that's a bit of a superstition, but it's not one that, I subconsciously make sure I do every time, I guess. But yeah, maybe it is one. I don't want to pick anyone in particular because I love my teams throughout school the whole time. But one person that I think I definitely should give a shout out to is Olivia Carruthers. I played with her since year 7, all the way through for school sport. And then I also played with her in club hockey outside of school. So, yeah, I guess maybe she was one of my best teammates. And, we did everything together. We were co-captains in our last year of school. So she was definitely probably one of the teammates I, spent a lot of my junior years with, and someone who I still am friends with and sometimes play with now when I go back home to Vic to play in local competition. But also I got to play with my sister, which is pretty awesome. I mean, not many people get to do that. So playing with her is really awesome. And I love doing that. Whenever I get the opportunity, it's really cool to play with her. So probably those two people. One thing that I always talk about when I'm in interviews like this is balancing your kind of school sport lifestyle. It's so important. I mean, school is so important to get done to the best of your ability because it sets you up for what's coming next. But it's also really important to make sure you enjoy the sport that you get to do at school sport. I know a lot of people hate getting up the early mornings for Saturday school sport, but it's actually so fun and you don't actually kind of realize how much you love it until you're not there doing it anymore. So I think definitely make the most of the moments you get with the people at school sport, but also, enjoy school as well because you don't do it forever. So make the most of everything you get to do in both those opportunities because it's actually so fun, and reminiscing on it, it's something that I miss now. So yeah.